returns.
Yep. Doug Bryan kicks it off. And Hughes will have a chance with a running start at about the 8-yard line. And he's hit hard and a flag on the play. We open with a hard hit and a bevy of flags. Chris Bordeno made the stop.
You're right on the bevy of flags. They were coming from all over. I saw one on this side. I saw two in the middle. Whatever the penalty is on, a whole bunch of eyes saw that one.
Holding number 59 on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Holding by Robert Thomas.
Yep, and you're going to see him come into the frame right there on the right. You'll see the holding.
That's a takedown.
Yep. Pretty good one.
Yep.
Yep.
So they'll move the offensive unit backwards. And the Cowboys will start from their own 14-yard line.
You know, we see so many, holding and illegal blocks in the back on kick returns because it's so difficult because you can't cut the guy and you got a whole open field, and that's the toughest block you have to make.
So it's 1st and 10, Dallas from their own 14. Moose Johnson and Emmitt Smith. Did he make it back to the line of scrimmage? Mark Fields was the first to hit him. Let's look at the offense of Dallas, led by Troy Aikman. A sensational Thanksgiving afternoon against the New Orleans Saints. Against the Minnesota Vikings, rather. Today, the Saints. Larry Allen, Nate Newton, Kislak, Flozell Adams, and Eric Williams. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston behind Aikman. Billy Davis, Michael Irvin, and David LaFleur are the wide receivers and the tight end. Two tight ends set up this time as Aikman retreats. Had to just throw it away. They were trying to set up a screen pass. Flag on the play as Aikman was hit back in the end zone.
Yeah, one thing they were talking about being aggressive, this Saint defense, and Mike Ditka said after the Miami game, he said, I'll tell you one thing, our defense is going to be aggressive next week.
And they have been so far. Referee, the veteran Jerry Markwright.
Intentional grounding, safety.
Safety.
If that's in the end zone, it's a safety. A penalty, an offensive penalty in the end zone is a safety. Now what they're saying is that Troy Aikman intentionally grounded. Now he's in the pocket. If he were outside the pocket, he could throw it away. Now if he's in the end zone, which he is, and he throws the ball away, intentional grounding, they call that's a safety.
That's some unspectacular start for Dallas and very good for the Saints.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now if he were to run out, he could have run outside where the tight ends normally line up, and he could have legally thrown the ball away.
Well,
if he's in that pocket area and he's in the end zone, then he can't illegally throw it away.
It looked to me as if he was trying to get the ball to Emmitt Smith, but the ball was so high that Emmitt could not have caught it.
There's Zaven Urillian. He's the defensive coordinator. These New Orleans Saints, and we were talking about an aggressive start. That is an aggressive start. Let's just look here again, and we'll show what intentional grounding is, and that's where there's no receiver in the area. As you said, maybe he was throwing here to Emmitt Smith. It was going to be, some type of screen. That's who he's looking for, but he just throws the ball so far over Emmitt Smith's head that they said that you weren't throwing to Emmitt Smith.
Well, he had no blockers. None of the linemen got out in front of Emmitt. They were in such a hurry. So Toby Goin will punt it. And the Saints, Eric Gulliford starts from the 20. And Gulliford got some room. And a good return by Gulliford. Toby Goin finally knocked him out of bounds. Here's Emmitt on the right side of your picture.
And you can see that Troy Aikman is in the end zone. And again, any penalty in the end zone is a safety. And as you look at that ball, you see that there was no receiver out there. That was a good call by the officials and a good start by this aggressive New Orleans Saint defense.
And aggressive is putting it mildly. 1st and 10, Saints, led by Kerry Collins. And the handoff is to Aaron Craver. Chad Hennings tripped him up. Let's look at the Saints offense. Led by ex-Carolina quarterback Kerry Collins. He is 2-0 against the Cowboys. Rofe, Turley, Ackerman, Aioli, and Clarence Jones. No huddle. Cam Cleland's the tight end. 3 wide receivers set up this time. The Saints said they were going to try to spread them out. And Collins drops and throws. Might have hit the carpet. Might have been a catch. Andre Hastings.
I don't think the officials called anything yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
I mean, he didn't say no, nor did they say yes. Now he's saying yes. You see that the ball did hit the ground. That's why the official right there on top of it didn't call anything. And he waited for some help on it, and he got some late help, and they finally agreed that was a catch. Now, of course, we could go right away.
Yeah.
If we had instant replay,
yeah.
we would see that the ball hit the ground.
We just added another reason, if they needed any more reasons. Timeout, New Orleans. Collins wasn't quite sure. Well, maybe they didn't take a timeout. Now they start the clock again, so the Saints. The offensive unit, I guess, waved it off or told the official that they didn't want it. I thought they had to go through with it once they called it. Collins wheels it outside to Aaron Craver. Craver near a first down. Stopped by Dexter Coakley.
You know, this is where Mike Ditka's aggressiveness is going to be tested right here. If this isn't a first down, will he go for it on 4th down? And knowing this field position and his attitude right now, I would suspect or expect that if it's not a first down, the Saints will go for it on 4th down.
I think I very much agree with you. They're going to bring the chains out.
Gary Collins is coming over here to the sidelines again. There's something that he wants to get straight. You know, he started the last time and then didn't get a timeout for whatever reason. And now he's coming over here to talk to the coaches.
We're going to find out.
And as you see, it is short. Now, you know who the leading rusher for this New Orleans Saint team is the last 3 games is Kerry Collins. So you kind of expect that that's what the play is going to be.
That's a record you don't necessarily want to hold. Your quarterback is your leading rusher 3 weeks in a row.
Right, and that's something that they would like to change today. But in this situation here, you might expect that Kerry Collins would keep the ball.
3rd about a foot. A 4th and about a foot, I beg your pardon. 4 wide receivers set up. And there goes Collins. Burrowing to his left, and he's close, but it's close.
Well, Kerry Collins is so big. You know, he's like 6'5", 240 pounds. So he is not only the leading rusher for the Saints the last 3 games, he's bigger than any of their backs. See, the thing you want to do here is find a soft spot. Now, you don't always on a quarterback sneak go straight ahead. And you see Kerry Collins just waited there for a while, and then he went outside that pinching defensive tackle.
Sneak over behind Big Willie Rofe.
That's not a bad place to sneak.
1st and 10. Collins gives to Troy Davis this time. Gets close to the 35 of Dallas. Chad Hennings again made the stop. Here's the Dallas defense. Kavika Pittman, Lett, Hennings, and Greg Ellis. That's the front 4. The 3 linebackers, Dexter Coakley, Fred Strickland in the middle, and Randall Godfrey. And the secondary, strange secondary, Charlie Williams, George Teague. Charlie Williams is taking that man's place, Deion Sanders, who's has the ball batted away by Kavika Pittman.
What a play by Kavika Pittman. I really never understand this type of blocking because Kavika Pittman is here and they're going to let him get a free run right here. What they do is they block the tackle down, you see, and they try and get that back across to cut the end. And there's a lot of teams that use that pass pattern. I've never understood that.
I was going to say, that play has never made sense to you.
No, because what they're doing is the tackle's blocking down. They're letting the end come on the side that they're throwing the slant to, and expect the running back to cut the big defensive end.
Third. Collins is complete, short of a first down. That's Gulliford who made the catch.
I think here now they come up with another fourth down here, and Kerry Collins looks over the sideline. I think Mike Ditka's going to say, let's go for it again, but they're not going to. I think they're probably going
Well,
to.
they are. I think they're coming in with a new set of receivers.
Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, he used that word all week, aggressiveness. And he wanted to be aggressive. You know, he talked about defense, and he guaranteed his defense was going to be more aggressive. Now the Saints do take a timeout.
That's their first now, so they have 2 left. The other one was waved off. 2-0. The Saints lead the Cowboys.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Back in New Orleans, you look at some of the bayou country around. 4th and 1.
You know, Pat, in this 4th and 1, Fred Strickland, their middle linebacker's out, and a rookie, number 59, Robert Thomas, is in there.
And Collins drops the throw, and the ball is batted backwards, and the Cowboys will take over.
That was a bad call on 4th down, because they had tried that slant to the right, and they came right back with it and got it knocked down again.
See who gets it.
And it's going to be the same type of thing. You see, they don't block the end again, so it's Kavika Pittman again.
Yep.
And it's the same play. They block the tackle down. They don't block Kavika Pittman, and they're trying to throw the slant to that side.
Strange call. Rounding out of his own end zone after the Cowboys got a penalty on the opening kickoff and backed him up, and then the Saints were true to their word. They played a very aggressive sequence on defense. Let's see if it continues. Emmitt Smith. Now that's aggressive. Here is the Saint defense. They're young and quick. Joe Johnson, Leroy Glover, Wayne Martin, and Jared Tomich up front. The 3 linebackers, Fields, Mitchell, and Keith Mitchell. Kevin in the middle. And the secondary, Drakeford and Mold in the corners. Chad Cota and Sammy Knight, the 2 safety. 2nd and 6. Two 2-0 Saints. Aikman is Smith. And Emmitt is about 2 yards shy of the first down right now. For an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, John, Mark Brunell out with some type of ankle injury, getting x-rays, but guess what? Jamie Martin comes in, first pass. Who does he hit? Keenan McCardell, 67-yard touchdown reception, longest of McCardell's career. Jacksonville on top of the line, 7-0, that in the first. Back to Pat and John.
It's 3rd and 2 at the Superdome in New Orleans.
This has kind of been an amazing year for backup quarterbacks, hasn't it, though?
3rd and 2, Aikman drops. Has time. Irvin gets the first down.
Yeah, I think any time that Troy Aikman gets in a real short yardage like 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, and he doesn't need a whole lot. He knows that Michael Irvin, who's out here, and Tyrone Drakeford, with his big body and his strength and a little push-off, is going to get open for him. And then all he has to do is drill that ball in there, and Michael Irvin will use his body to get between the ball and the defender. He is as good at that as anyone.
And the guy throwing the ball is as good as anyone right now.
He's close to perfect.
Aikman drops up the middle. LaFleur struggles for a first down and gets it.
Boy, Eric Bjornsson got a big block for Troy Aikman on that play. You know, Ernie Mills used to do this type of thing where they put an end or someone in the backfield, and he's an extra protector back there to help the blitz. Now, Bjornsson comes in, sees this blitz coming, takes it on. He gets knocked back a little, but he bought Troy Aikman just enough time to get that ball off to the floor.
Second first down in a row for the Cowboy offensive unit. They're crossing Saint territory at the Saint 45. Emmitt Smith. A couple.
You know, they're using their tight end, Eric Bjornsson, a lot more like a fullback. And you don't see Moose Johnston as much in there. Bjornsson, we saw on that pass protection the play before. Then on that play, he came and he was in the backfield, and he was the lead blocker. You see him come here, 86. Now, that's the thing that Moose Johnston used to do all these years. And you see an Eric Bjornsson as a tight end, wide receiver, whatever. In fact, he's lined up in the slot right now.
He goes in motion right now and comes back. Emmitt Smith hit by Leroy Glover.
There is a quick guy.
Yep.
You know, we talk about John Randall from Minnesota being a quick defensive guy. Leroy Glover is that same type of guy. He gets real close here to the ball, and he's the first guy off on the ball. You see how quickly he gets in the backfield? In fact, Nate Newton was the pulling guard.
Yep.
Leroy Glover got so quickly across the line of scrimmage that he grabbed Nate Newton, and he grabbed Emmitt Smith.
And grabbing Nate Newton upset the whole protection scheme.
And grabbing Nate Newton is still an armful.
Third and 12. Aikman out of the shotgun. Right through the hands of Patrick Jeffers.
Remember on Thanksgiving Day, two things happened. It just happened on that play. One, in the second half, Troy Aikman got hit a lot of time. Look at that. 20 times he was hit and knocked down. He just took one right there. And the other thing that happened was drop passes. And both of them happened to the Cowboys on that last play.
Toby going back to punt to Eric Gulliford. He's dangerous.
I'll tell you, the Saints are impressive in the beginning of this game with their aggressiveness. That's what they talked about, and they're doing it. I think they're going to come on a punt block here. Yep.
Going gets it out of there. It's a good high kick. And Billy Davis got down in time to take it on the short hop and stop it from going into the end zone. Nothing. Saints over the Cowboys. First quarter.
Is because of these corners, you know, being young corners, and they don't have the regular corners. They're playing their safeties deeper. So their safeties, especially Darren Woodson right here, isn't going to be as involved in the run today. He's going to be back there helping Charlie Williams on one side and Kevin Mathis on the other side.
And now the corner on the right side of the Dallas defense is Larry Brown. Just signed this week. Collins chased. Gets rid of it. Out of bounds. Ooh. Did he get out of the pocket now?
They better watch out there that he throw it away, because that was the same thing that happened to Troy Aikman, throwing the ball away in the end zone. Offensive penalty in the end zone is a safety. Darren Woodson is asking for a safety. They didn't give him one.
He was pressured by Kavika Pittman again, who's already knocked down 2 passes. That time put the heat on Collins.
Kavika Pittman is having a heck of a beginning of this game.
Mark Royals back deep to punt it. Off the side of Royals' foot. Very poor kick. It is down at the Saint 47, where the Cowboys will take over. Here's the rush on Collins by Pittman.
Campbell's Chunky, soup that eats like a meal.
Two nothing.
You know, if we look at the difference, we see here that this would be the tight end box. Now, the reason Kerry Collins can throw the ball away is he was outside that tight end box, which was different from Troy Aikman, who got the safety, because he was inside the tight end box.
Aikman pump fake going deep. Incomplete. No flag. For an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, after spotting Carolina's 7-0 lead, San Francisco's Steve Young 6 of 7 on his drive for 53 yards, including that 2-yard touch. To J. Stokes, it's all tied at 7. Back to Pat and John.
2-0. The Saints over the Cowboys. Cowboys need a win to clinch a playoff spot. New Orleans still mathematically in contention for a spot in the playoffs. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt knocked out of bounds after he picked up about 5. Herded out of bounds by Tyrone Drakeford.
You know what the Cowboys did that time, Pat? They ran right at a guy who was in a zone blitz. Now, anytime that you run a zone blitz, you take a defensive lineman and you bring him and you start to drop him when you're rushing from the other side. Now the Cowboys caught the Saints. Watch Joe Johnson here. You see he's dropping, and he's dropping right out of the area that they're going to run at. And he's running away from the blitz. So that's what you try and do against that zone blitz, is hope that you can run the ball at the defensive lineman that is dropping out in pass coverage.
And sometime you guess right. Here's Aikman out of the shotgun. Look out. Pass across the middle, caught by Michael Irvin. Flag on the play. Aikman again under pressure, holding. I'm not sure he got the first down. This will be worth looking at again and see if they refuse or take the penalty.
I would think they would take the penalty if it's holding and put him back anyway.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
They will take it back, give him another 3rd down. Jerry Markbright, the veteran referee.
Because that'll pick up about 20 yards. Yeah, I think the holding is right up there on Eric Williams. I think it's right there, and you see that he has his hand to the face, his right hand to the face, and he was holding with his left hand, so he was doing about everything that you could.
And Kevin Mitchell, a good effort. It's he who put the pressure on Aikman. 3rd and 16. Cowboys have been hurt by penalties. An upsetting feature of their offense for Chan Gailey.
Especially the pre-snap ones.
Aikman goes upfield, finds Patrick Jeffers, and that should be enough for a first, but there's a flag on the play again.
Boy, did Troy Aikman stand in there nice, so he really looked good. This is going to be another holding penalty against the Cowboys.
Holding number 63, offense. 10-yard penalty.
That's against Kislak, the center.
Yeah, it's like you say, Chan Gailey was talking about pre-snap penalties and 3rd down penalties. Mike Kislak is the center right there. And you see he starts with a hold, then they end up in a double team. They don't need a hold in there. And then right there he grabs. You see him grab right there? Yep, he did, and grabbed, and in grabbing he got a takedown.
3 against 2 in the middle.
Yep, the Cowboys are shooting themselves in the foot right here.
3rd and 25. Aikman from the shotgun. He has some protection, gets the ball to Sherman Williams. He gets close to midfield, not nearly enough for the first down, and Gerard Cherry came in to bring him down.
Right now, Pat Jeffers is a 3rd wide receiver. Eric Bjornsson, when they go to shotgun, is a 4th wide receiver. And then in the backfield is Sherman Williams. So that's their nickel offensive package, or their shotgun package.
Toby going back to punt again. His 2nd of the day. And Eric Gulliford to receive for the Saints. Good high kick. Bearcat signal. At about the 8. That's a fine punt by Toby Gorn. Saints take over. 2:20 left in their own 9-yard line.
And the Saints are using a nickel defense, 5 defensive backs on 1st down.
The Cowboys. Aaron Kramer. Stopped by Leon Lett. Greg Ellis and friends.
And I think the Cowboys figure that the Saints aren't going to beat them with a run. They have a depleted secondary, so they're going to use an extra defensive back and take out a linebacker. So they're playing without Fred Strickland. So they don't have a middle linebacker in there.
They really got 3 safety men.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now they can get 1 up here, you see, and play 1 for the run and still have the 4 out there.
Collins drops. Chased out of the pocket. Just does get rid of it. The ball's picked off. An interception by Dallas. By Kevin Mathis. Broken arm and all.
And I think that was a good call. I think Dave Campo, by going to that nickel defense on first and second down, and figured we can stop the run. They wanted to stop it with 6. Now they know that they can stop it with 5 guys in there. Now if they can stop it with 5, then they can really drop off. And that's exactly what they're doing. Mathis, as you say, with a broken arm and everything, he just reads Collins was coming that way. He just jumps in front and makes the interception.
Greg Ellis put the pressure on Collins in the end zone. Kevin Mathis with the interception.
We talked about the Saints being aggressive. I think that what the Cowboy defense just did there, that move that they made by going to nickel, I think was a very aggressive move and got him an interception.
2 tight ends set up for Dallas this time. 1st and 10. Aikman drops. Incomplete. Michael Irvin put one hand out and couldn't bring it down.
Yeah, Troy Aikman had him there, and we know that Troy Aikman is usually so accurate with the ball. We're going to see Michael Irvin come, make a move to the inside, push off a little, and then start to the outside. Oh, he has to get both hands up there. I mean, you know, that's always a definition of what hands are. Hands are both hands working together. You're not going to see Michael Irvin do that a lot. If someone isn't holding that left hand, I'm surprised that that left hand didn't get up there with the right one.
You saw Aikman's lips say, "What was that?" Aikman drops. Gets away from 2. And finally throws it away and out of bounds. Ooh. A diving effort by Billy Davis.
And I'll tell you, that's as close. Larry Allen, the left tackle for the Cowboys, hasn't had a sack against him all year. And I think this is going to be about as close as you're going to see right here. Here's Larry Allen right here. And he's going against Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson makes a heck of a move on him.
He really did.
Joe Johnson had Troy Aikman out there. That would have been a sack. That's as bad as I've ever seen anyone make Larry Allen look.
It's quickness.
And that's what Joe Johnson said. He said, I have to do it against Larry Allen with quickness and finesse. And he did it on that play.
3rd and 10. Aikman lofts it, incomplete. For LaFleur. And the field goal team will come on.
And this is the same thing that haunted the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day against the Vikings. They could get down there, but instead of getting touchdowns, they had to settle for field goals. Good defense on that play.
LaFleur got up limping. So Richie Cunningham will try. His long of the year is 54 yards out. 22 out of 26 on the year. This one from 34 yards. Bjornsson holding. Dale Hellestrae is the snapper. And it's 3-2 Dallas leading New Orleans. A minute 13 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was good defense there by the Saints. And that's one thing that I think both of these defenses have done well is they've kept the other offense off balance. We talked about the Cowboys, how they went to nickel and they got an interception, and how the Saints are really putting a lot of pressure on the Cowboy offense. They're doing a lot of blitzing, a lot of zone blitzing. In fact, I would say that they've probably, on passing downs, have blitzed about 75% of the time so far.
The NFL next week, next Sunday, coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The Bears against the Packers, the Falcons, Saints, the Redskins, Panthers, the Cardinals against the Eagles. And these Cowboys will be in Kansas City. John and I'll be there. David LaFleur on the blue phone. Cowboys have a matching phone.
They probably have offensive phones and defensive phones. I know we always did that, and then you have probably the blue is the offense and the other color is the defense.
Richie Cunningham and Toby Cunningham kicked a field goal, officially 33 yards. Goal Troy kicks off.
Looked like someone just was in the middle of doing the paint job on that thing, and a game broke out.
And ran out of paint. 3-2. That's looks like maybe I did that paint job.
Yeah, the paint job, and then the other thing is duct tape. You know, I mean, there's never. You wonder what the world was before duct tape.
Well, especially the world of television.
Yeah, the world of anything. I mean, you know, everyone always, you always say you need something, you have to just put some duct tape on it like that. I mean, they don't want anyone to call, so they just duct tape it.
There's ring down on the duct tape.
Yep, and then I think that's the ring down. Isn't that so the PR guy up here can talk to the guy down in the field? Isn't that what ring down means?
That's exactly right. Pitches back to Troy Davis, and he's cut down by Randall Godfrey. Right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
John, take a look at San Francisco going into the trick bag. Young to Terry Kirby. Halfback option. Who does he find? Terrell Owens. Perfect strike. Not a good-looking pass. 14-7. And Atlanta right now losing to the Colts. A Falcons loss. San Francisco win will be a tie atop the NFC West. Back to Pat and John.
Back at the Superdome in New Orleans.
Terry Kirby looked like his brother on that play. His brother's a Major League Baseball player.
Aaron Traver with the reception from Collins will get a Saint first down. How come every time a halfback throws an option pass, it's a perfect strike, no matter where it is?
Yeah, because the guy is so wide open, he can't throw anything except a perfect strike. But here's the deal where they sneak the back out. You see, could have started in there, and then he just sneaks out to the other side. You see, and then you get a little bootleg with it, and that, you know, that's the type of thing that the Saints have to get started now, where they get a little misdirection, you know, get a back out there, and then they can go back to working on these wide receivers, I think.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Cowboys 3, the Saints 2. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. John Madden. The Saints have a first down. They're first.
And the Cowboys are back in their normal defense.
That's Aaron Traver straight ahead. A pile of white shirts. Backup defensive lineman. Oh, there's Deion Sanders.
And you know, without Deion, this defense is a totally different defense. I mean, not only not having him play in there that right corner, but the things that they do. You know, we pointed out how they have to play more cover 2. They have to get their safeties out of the run so that they can play deeper. See how the safeties are playing deeper now. And that's all because of Deion Sanders not playing.
Comes to reverse. That's Andre Hastings picking his way up for another Saint first down. Good.
You know, the thing is Kerry Collins tried to make a block against Herman McCormick. You're going to see it out here on the reverse. And McCormick just pushes him back. But I think in doing so, he distracted him. Watch, here's a block right here that you call a distraction. I don't think it was any kind of a block, but it distracted McCormick enough that he over-pursued so that Andre Hastings could cut back in.
This is a backup group of defensive linemen. Collins trying to change the play. Gets it up the middle, and the pass is caught by Hastings. Beg your pardon, Sean Dawkins.
And that was a good play by Kerry Collins there, because he caught the Cowboys in a blitz. And we were talking about how they had to keep their safeties deep. Now watch, now they bring Woodson up. Now when they bring Woodson up, he knows that he has man-to-man, so he's just going to throw the ball up here. You see, here comes the blitz. Here's man-to-man down here in the bottom of the screen, and he knows that he can get this. Sean Dawkins out there on Kevin Mathis. He knows that he just throws that ball up, and he's going to get something.
One of those underthrown passes. That's Kramer straight ahead. Stopped by Strickland and Godfrey. To summarize, turnovers done. New Orleans 1. New Orleans no points off their turnovers. Dallas got the field goal as a result. New Orleans only points came on a safety when they caught Aikman for intentional grounding in the end zone. hasn't been your outstanding offensive afternoon.
No, and that hasn't. And that one that Dawkins thought was on Charlie Williams there when they got caught in a blitz. But that's the thing that you worry about. You know, when you do blitz, then you have to go man to man.
Prior to the snap, ball start, number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Chris Naoli, the intense face of Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Chris Naoli is the right guard. You're going to see him just move there. It looked like he moved as he was getting settled.
Barely.
Chris Naoli gets pushed back a lot. He's not a real strong guard, and they have Leon Lett lined up on him, and I think that they can get penetration in that area.
2nd and 11. There's some penetration
in that area. That was
a screen pass call, a good call. As Davis makes the reception, chased out of bounds by Strickland.
Now, that was good by Kerry Collins, because I was just saying that Chris Naoli gives up penetration. He had Leon Lett on him, and he does give up penetration. You watch that. You see there's Leon Lett. I mean, he's back there, and he's right on Kerry Collins. It's going to be a screen to the right. And Kerry Collins had to get away from Leon Lett. You see as he does there, buy a little time to get that screen out there. That was a heck of a play by Kerry Collins. Not very good by his right guard, Chris Naoli.
3rd and 2. Davis hit hard, but he got it safe first down. Hit first by Darren Woodson.
And that time he got a good block by his lead blocker, his fullback, Aaron Craver. Craver gets out there, and instead of hitting the guy up high, he comes out and he cuts right at the point of attack.
Darren Woodson, who played almost with one arm on Thanksgiving Day against Minnesota, is out with a sprained elbow.
Well, of the 4 regular starting defensive backs, he's the only guy there today.
What?
Davis. That's the Cowboy secondary. George Teague starting instead of Omar Stoudemire. Williams and Mathis at the cornerbacks, and Darren Woodson, as you said, the only one of the normal defensive backs to be playing normal in terms of where he lines up.
You know, one of the best tackles in all of football is that guy right there, Willie Roaf. And if you're going to run the ball, it's not bad to get in behind him.
2nd and 3, and here comes Davis. And he will lower his head and hit it in there. Fred Strickland met him.
And of course, that's why Troy Davis is playing today, because he will hit it in there. Now watch, I was saying over here, watch William Roaf. I mean, he just comes down, picks off anything to the inside, but it looks like that whole team slanted down with him, and Troy Davis just took it to the outside. You know, and I will say this, we saw the Saints a week ago against Miami, and they're a much better team today here in the Superdome than they were down there in Miami.
It's a totally different pace. 1st and goal at the 6. They've had 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. That's Davis. And the ball came loose. New Orleans got it back. They're saying he was down.
Yeah, the officials are saying it was down, and the Saints keep the ball. Darren Woodson came up in there to support that thing, and half of his helmet fell out.
Yeah. At the 3. So a pickup of 3 by Davis.
Again, you're going to see here, he hits in here. Darren Woodson is the guy that hits him. Now it's where the ball is when his knee is down. So when his knee goes down, the whistle blew, and they blew the ball dead there.
Blitz coming, and they hit Davis before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Woodson first there. That's about 3 hits in a row by Darren Woodson.
Yeah, and that's the type of thing that they have to do with Darren Woodson. Here's the play before the fumble. We'll see where the ball came out. You see the knee is down there. I think the ball came out after the knee went down. And again, the thing that you have to know on that play is when the whistle blows. But when the whistle blows, the ball is dead and it's down there.
3rd and goal at the 4. Collins will have to throw. 3 wide receivers. Collins drops. Looks for someplace to go. Gets away from one. And the touchdown pass goes to Aaron Kramer from Collins. A desperate heave, but it was there.
Collins made 2 great plays. A rush from Leon Lett, and he threw the screen, and this one here for the touchdown.
They're going to go for 2.
Yeah, because they already have that 2 points up there. They already have 8 points. But you see what Kerry Collins does? He gets away from the rush. He is so big and so strong, and he throws a straight arm, and then he gets it in there to Kramer. But 2 times on this drive, he had big plays by buying time.
Scoring drive, 13 plays, 80 yards, and they kept the ball 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Hard for the other team to score when you have the ball, isn't it? Flag on the play, or they stop it before it gets started.
Delay of game. Offense. No play. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
So what Mike Ditka is saying now, after that penalty, now he's going to kick the extra point. I think he felt comfortable at 1 distance for it, but he doesn't feel comfortable going for 2 from 7 yards.
Did I see a little smile on his face?
Well, you know, probably. You know, I mean, Mike Ditka played for this Dallas Cowboy team.
Yeah. Coached
this Dallas Cowboy team as an assistant under Tom Landry, and you know, he has some feelings about winning this game.
Extra points good by Bryant. A flag on the play. Let's wait a minute.
You know, and he has to feel good, you know, getting back to Mike Ditka in the smile. He has to feel good because he likes aggressiveness, and he's getting it today.
Mark Royals, the holder. Gary Markbright. This debate.
We have a personal foul. Leverage on number 97 on the defense.
Leverage. Is that in the rule book?
Yeah, that's where he jumps or something. The defensive guy.
Penalty will be enforced from the 2 to the 1, and they retry.
See, it's going to be where he jumps here. You see, he gets up on the back. He gets up on the back of the blocker.
97, number 97.
Yeah. You see, that's what they're saying is you can't use. See, part of it's his own player, and part of it's the other player.
It's 8-3 as it stands right now, but they're still discussing. Kavika Pittman applauding. And here's the discussion with the head coach.
Remember, that's what they used to do. They used to run
correction.
2 corrections.
The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
Well, then we got the score wrong. Now it's corrected. 9-3 now. 7:54 left before the first half ends.
10-220. Dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents.
The Saints lead the Cowboys 9-3. 7:54 left to play in the first half. That last scoring drive, Collins to Kramer got the touchdown, 4 yards out. And John Madden pointed out an excellent play by Kerry Collins.
Well, you know, you have a quarterback who we talked about earlier who was so big and strong. I mean, Kerry Collins is 6'4", 240 pounds, and you're not going to arm tackle him. He can break tackles, and then he can still throw the ball like a dart. And the other thing about Kerry Collins, he has confidence against the Cowboys because he's played them twice and he's beaten them twice.
Brian chases Tyrone Hughes back to the back of the end zone. Of course, he had the advantage because they had moved the kickoff position up because of the penalty. but he's got some key words.
Probably like fetch,
No.
monster.
No, I would have understood that.
Oh, you mean like another language?
Yeah.
Sometimes they train dogs in German. That's a collie, isn't that like that's like a border collie to me? You know, Emmitt Smith, until that last carry, had 6 carries for 6 yards. So that's either some bad blocking or some good defense by these Saints.
Here's Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt breaks a couple of tackles and gets a Cowboy first down. Keith Mitchell brought him down.
There was a couple of misses before Keith Mitchell, but Keith Mitchell didn't miss. And the reason you say, why does Keith Mitchell have his first name on there? Because they have 2 Mitchells. And then you say, well, why isn't it just K. Mitchell? Because the other Mitchell is also a K. You got a Kevin Mitchell and you got a Keith Mitchell. So they put his first name on there.
Right.
Just in case someone would wonder, you know what I mean?
On both of them. First and 10. Aikman drops and has some time. Incomplete. LaFleur got tangled up and fell down.
You know, Troy Aikman hasn't really gotten in sync, and when he started to get in sync, it looked like he had those 2 10-yard holding penalties. Remember that? But he's really only 3 out of 10, and that's not Troy Aikmanese. But again, I think you know part of that is offense, part of that is those penalties we talked about, but a big part of it is this Saint defense that is really going after him.
LaFleur on the sideline, examining his right knee. Here's Emmitt Smith. And the Saints are there in a hurry. And that is aggressive, and that is pursuit, and that is what Mike Ditka likes.
Yeah, what they did is they pulled Nate Newton. You're going to see the left guard pull on this, and then they just fire right through that hole, and they're going to get Emmitt Smith at about that point. You see, they get the penetration there by Leroy Glover. He gets knocked down, but gets up. And that big hole that Nate Newton left when he pulled, Emmitt Smith tried to get back in that hole, and in that hole were 4 Saint defenders.
3rd and 9, and Sherman Williams joins Aikman in the shotgun. They might have jumped. There's a flag on the play. Aikman gets it out of there, and the pass is caught by Irvin, who retains his balance.
Oh, that was a heck of a catch by Michael Irvin and a heck of a throw by Troy Aikman, because that was good coverage. This penalty is going to be against the Saints, so the Cowboys are going to get their first down. But you know, you still think of all the years that Troy Aikman's been throwing to Michael Irvin for 10 years.
Number 91 defense, penalty decline, first down.
Brady Smith was early.
Yeah, you're going to see that now. Troy Aikman in the shotgun sees that, and he knows that he has a free play. So he can take a shot, and he could try and get it in there. As I said, there were 4 Saint defenders in there, and Troy Aikman threw that ball perfectly to Michael Irvin in between all 4 of those defenders. That's a pro pass.
Cowboys, and the give is to Emmitt Smith. Trying to get around the corner and can't get much room. Does get into Saint territory about the 48 before he's down.
I think that's one of the things that this Saint defense wants to do, is they want to plug up the middle, because they want to stop the middle run of Emmitt Smith, plus they want to, on passes, they want to rush Troy Aikman up the middle. So if there's going to be any running, it's going to be that bounce out type of stuff.
2nd and 8. Smith got 2. They're at the Saint 49.
I like this Leroy Glover, this guy right up there. When he plays tight and he penetrates, he plays on their side of the ball all day.
Emmitt Smith. And the Saints were coming on a blitz, and Bordano brought Smith down.
That's Chris Bordano. He's the rookie backup middle linebacker. But you know, you can blitz run and you can blitz pass, and you're going to see the blitz here for the run. Here comes Bordano, and I was just saying how they want to overload that middle and take away the middle run, and if it's a pass, they want a middle pass rush.
Bordano played at SMU. Sherman Williams again in the lineup. Back in the shotgun with Aikman. Billy Davis on the move. Here comes a safety blitz. But Aikman gets away from it, gets it out, and lost. Michael Irvin had the ball come out of his arms and bounce all the way out of bounds, and it's short of a first down.
I tell you, that was a heck of a play by Alex Molden, though, because Molden had a step. He was beaten by a step here. You see him right here? And really, I think Michael Irvin caught that ball.
Yeah.
And it looked like Molden came in and stripped it from behind. But if the ball goes out of bounds, it would have been academic anyway, except the ball would have been spotted at the point that it went out of bounds.
Going to punt it, Gulliford deep. Cowboys not able to get anything going against this aggressive Saint defense. 9-3, the Saints lead. High, good kick. Davis is down, and he will down it at the 3. Great hang time. Good job by Toby Goen, and hustled by Billy Davis to get down in good shape to handle it. The ball backed up at their own end zone. Terry Collins, the quarterback. Collins hands to Wilmot Perry.
You know, the
big horse.
You know, we talk about good tackles and how good Larry Allen is. Well, Willie Roaf is one of the top tackles in football, too. And watch the double. Now, here's Leon Lett. You know that if you're going to run, you got to get this block right here at the line of scrimmage. And watch the job that Willie Roaf does here, coming down on Leon Lett. I mean, he and Turley just get Leon Lett going backwards and turn, and then Willie Roaf comes up and gets Chad Henning. So he helps with a half and then gets 1.
2nd and 5. Perry again. He is big and strong. 6'1", 230 at least.
What Mike Ditka was saying last week, he said, we want to see Wilmot Perry and going to put him in there. We don't know a lot about him. He's a rookie out of Livingstone.
We need to get him pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, and they got him pointed in the right direction. Remember the first time he came in last week, he gained 14 yards. Then he didn't run the ball again the rest of the game until maybe in the 4th quarter. I think he carried it one more time.
Andy Abramowitz was saying they had some films of him in college, and he was lined up about a yard from the center, and they couldn't see him. So it's hard to scout what you can't see. So 9-3, the Saints over the Cowboys. 2 minutes left in the first half. 3rd and 2 at the 11. Collins going deep. Hastings is going to take it all the way. Terry Collins threw a strike, 89 yards. To Andre Hastings. I haven't seen this act before.
That's called bullfrog, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, we used to go bullfrog. Even the goodness, you score a touchdown like that, you bullfrog. That's what the Cowboys were worried about. Kevin Mathis out there. Here's Kevin Mathis playing with a cast on his arm. Andre Hastings gets by him. Now Kevin Mathis right here can't make the tackle. You see, he had to hold that right arm back and reach with one arm. And when a guy's going full speed, you're not going to grab him with one hand from behind if you're Kevin Mathis.
Good throw by Terry Collins.
Playing that 2 deep and 2 playing nickel on first down. They got away from those things and got burned.
Tyrone Hughes downs it in the end zone. Andre Hastings, the 89-yard strike from Terry Collins to give the Saints a 16-3 lead. Coming up at the half, the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Now the Saints have to feel good about themselves because they talked about aggressiveness. They did that. And the other thing, the Cowboys really have a poor secondary today, and the Saints are taking advantage of it.
That's what they had to do. This is Sherman Williams. And the spinner didn't work.
Look at this Dallas pass defense. In the first 9 games, they only allowed 9 touchdowns. In the last 3 games, they've allowed 10 touchdowns. And, of course, that is since Deion Sanders injured that toe.
Aikman has it batted down. Trying to set up a screen to the left. Mark Fields was in his face.
You know, that's the thing with these screen passes. Screen passes usually come after you have success downfield. Here it starts shotgun. He gets a bad snap. You see it. He has to go down to field that thing, and then he comes up. Mark Fields gets the pressure straight up the middle. He has to throw it before he's ready. But you usually have success with screen passes after you've had a lot of success throwing the ball down the field.
Aikman backs up. That's one thing about the shotgun. The center can't operate quite as quickly. The screen pass again. And Sherman Williams fell down.
Yeah, and Joe Johnson was close again on that one. I've never seen anyone on pass protection give Larry Allen these bigger problems.
It's quickness again.
Here's Joe Johnson here, and you see his quickness. He just runs right by Larry Allen. And you see, and that was the side that Troy Aikman was trying to throw the screen to.
He's gotten close a couple of times. And Toby going. Will have to punt from his own 5 out to Eric Gulliford. Gulliford will have a chance at this one. To the 45. Stopped by Mobley. Again, coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris. Scores and highlights from around the league. Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. All coming up on the Visa halftime report. We have about 1 minute and 6 seconds. Not about. Exactly 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Saints at their own 45.
There's Joe Johnson's playing awfully well. I mean, if Larry Allen is the best offensive lineman in football, Joe Johnson is close to one of the best defensive linemen.
Collins gets a screen set up to his left, and he had some blockers in front. Aaron Craver.
See, now that makes a little more sense because they've had success. Now, on the side of the screen, watch Willie Rofe here. What you want to do is get your guy's hands down. See, you cut him like that just before you throw it. Now, that puts his hands down, plus it puts him down. So on that side of the screen, you can throw it over him.
If you just look at that again, or put it in your memory bank, that's perfect technique. That's what you should do.
That's the way a tackle to the side of the screen should block.
2nd and 6. 3 wide receivers for the Saints. Cowboys coming on a blitz. Saints pick it up. Sean Dawkins will get the Saints first down. Kevin Mitchell headed to the locker room. He's out for the game.
You see what happened? That was Larry Brown on that play, Pat, and he was playing off, so that was just a gift to the Saints. And Larry Brown, they just signed him the other day. He comes in and, you know, 1, he doesn't have a lot of speed. 2, he can't have a whole heck of a lot of confidence because he was just on the streets a week ago. And then 3, he was playing way too far off because of the first 2.
And 4, they picked up the blitz. Allen behind the intended receiver. That's Cam Cleveland.
Yeah, we watched Willie Rofe again. We're talking about you know good tackles and just how well he pass protects. I mean, how he gets in position and you get your head right in the middle. You keep your inside foot there so that he can't go, and then it's a stunt. So you let him go, let your guard take him, then you step out to take the guy coming around, which was a tackle Leon left.
That's a clinic. By number 77.
He's been given a clinic.
Yeah. Here's Collins.
Well, I don't know if he got it first or not. He could have.
He did or not.
Running right at it. Again, Willie Rofe was blocking Kavika Pittman, and Kavika Pittman went too far outside. Rofe gave him 1 extra shot, and that was the area that Kerry Collins could run in. Watch him here. You see him come up. Come up, come up. Now he gives him that shot right there, and that frees Kerry Collins, and he has a whole open left side.
And he doesn't get a first down.
No, and that's surprising. Run it right at it. Did he step that left foot out there?
3rd and 2. Lamar Smith is short as well.
Well, you go back to that 2nd down, and Kerry Collins not getting that extra yard. That could be a big play, because now they didn't pick it up on 3rd, and now they come up with 4th down. And they have some indecision right here. Oh, I don't know that that's not a fumble. His knee wasn't down. I don't know that that's not a fumble.
I think it is a fumble. The Saints are going to attempt a field goal, it appears, from about 54 yards out.
And again, and that goes back to that 2nd down where Kerry Collins was running right at the marker, and looked like, you know, he knew what he was doing and would get that one step beyond. And then this one here, now this is a 3rd down. You're going to see Leon Lett come in and just strip that ball, and the ball is out before he goes down.
And Leon Lett recovered it.
Yep, that should have been the Cowboys' ball right there.
Doug Bryan will try from about 54 yards out. He's 2 out of 3 from over 50.
You know, Doug Bryan went to high school at De La Salle in Concord, California, and they're rated the #1 high school in the country.
The #1 high school?
#1 high school,
Yeah.
De La Salle, yeah.
From 53 yards, they call it. That's straight enough and plenty far enough. And the Saints add on 3 more as the first half runs out. 19-3. The Saints
Up towards the line of scrimmage, and even made Woodson come up a little. Then they can throw some of those deep things.
1st and 10, the handoff goes to Davis, and Davis, the ball comes flying out of there and went out of bounds. It'll belong to the Saints. Collins got off to a pretty shaky start, but things started to turn better for him.
Yeah, he made big plays by just movement like this, and then getting this screen pass off here. Just by getting away from Leon Lett, that was a big play. Then he comes back and he buys some time again and throws a touchdown pass to Craver there. So those were, you know, big plays by Collins just by moving. He's so big and so strong that he can do that and then throw passes like that.
And that was the biggest one. Here's Collins back in the pocket with protection. Wheels it outside to Davis, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe. This is not Davis. Aaron Craver.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Danny Abramowitz was telling us yesterday, that he told Kerry Collins, he said, don't force it, dump it. In other words, if there's nothing there downfield, dump it off. And that's exactly what Kerry Collins did on that last play. Now, he didn't force anything, so there was no interception. He didn't take a sack, even though they didn't make any yardage on that play. He dumped it rather than forced it.
3rd and 10. Collins would like to stay here. This is the last year in his contract, but he'd like to re-sign with New Orleans, and they'd like to have him. Here comes a blitz. Collins gets away from it. Flag on the play. The pass is almost picked off as Dexter Coakley was running with the intended receiver, but a penalty marker down.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you're looking for. You know, he gets away from the blitz. Now he knows he has one-on-one coverage, and he's going deep.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That'll be an automatic first down.
That's Kavika Pittman.
And you're going to see that he's right in here. And you see the hands to the face are right there, and then he keeps that right hand up there. He's trying to do it. George Teague is coming on a blitz free. But again, see how strong Kerry Collins is? One hand is going to do nothing. Then he gets away and still gets rid of that ball.
Might make him change directions, but that's about it.
But he's made some big plays by just taking a step or two and then throwing after that.
Sure has. It's a first down automatic. Davis. And there's no place to go if he's makes some place to go.
Well, they didn't. Troy Davis didn't take it up in here that time.
No, he didn't.
He came out okay.
That's not his forte.
See, this is the thing that they try and do to Leon Lett. They always try and cut him. And then he comes straight down the line of scrimmage and does all that work and misses a tackle.
2nd and 8 coming up now.
One feeling I have about the Cowboys, Pat, so far in this game, they're not playing either offense or defense, any play, with a lot of intensity.
Collins drops. Plenty of time. Ball sails high over the head of Andre Hastings, covered by Kevin Mathis.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Cowboys wanted to do. See, now they have their safeties back here. Now they can play. Now they can protect the corners over here. That's the way they would like to play. But in this league, you have to mix your defenses. But that defense gives Kerry Collins more trouble than the blitz and the man-to-man.
That means, of course, you've got to stop the run with the front 7. 4 down and the 3 linebackers.
Yeah, and I think with this Saints running game and these running backs, I think the Cowboys can do that. I just think they just have to get after them a little more.
3 wide receivers. Larry Brown comes in as the Cowboys go to the nickel. Pass is caught by Eric Gulliford. And that's enough for a first down. A good throw again from Collins. And a tough catch by Gulliford.
Yeah, Gulliford is a tough guy, a good return man. He'd been out. He just came back last week against Miami. And he's the guy, when they go 3 wide receivers, he plays in the slot. He's there in the slot on the left, and Kerry Collins has good pass protection. That's what made that, because Collins could sit back there and wait and wait. Watch him sit back there and wait until Gulliford comes open, then he throws a perfect pass to him.
2 tight ends set up this time. Will Montgomery is the deep back. Arm tackle's not going to get him down either. No, he finally get him down.
Yeah, right. He tries to give that shoulder and lower the head, and it probably worked in Livingstone, but when they tackle like they do here, you just go backwards. In fact, I think the shoulder that he tried to lower and lower the boom with, I think the boom got lowered upon him.
Took most of the brunt of the meeting. That's the right shoulder. It appears to be the problem.
And that's the one that he tried to lower and got lowered upon.
Draper takes his place. Cleveland is the motion man. Collins throws it away.
He had to throw that one away because he had a blitz over there. He had to pressure right into the side that he was waggling or bootlegging to. And you're going to see he's going to bootleg to his right, and then he gets the pressure right here. See, now he turns, and the first guy that he sees is a defensive lineman right there, so he has to get rid of the ball.
That's Myers looking at him.
No one blocked Michael Myers, and that was the side that Collins was bootlegging to.
So it's 3rd and 10. The Saints are at their own 46-yard line. They lead 19-3. It's 3rd and 10. The Cowboys are showing blitz, and now they back out of it. Collins throws across the middle, complete to Gulliford. And Gulliford will get the first. He's taken down by Kenny Wheaton.
Yep, and I think that one was on Darren Woodson. I think Darren Woodson had that, and I think he fell down. I think you're going to watch Darren Woodson here. He doesn't look like he's set. And then when he starts to come in, you see Woodson right there fall down. That's exactly what happened. Collins saw it, and boom, when Woodson went down, right there. I tell you, when he gets pass protection like this, and he gets defensive backs falling down, he can throw perfect strikes in there.
And he can whip it in there. That's Davis. Maybe a yard. Leon Lett.
You know, you have to be impressed with the job that the offensive coordinator, Danny Abramowitz, is doing here today, Pat, of mixture, because he's really outmanned here. I mean, you know, he doesn't have a good running game. Here's Danny Abramowitz here. Remember him, the old Saint? Worked for Mike Ditka as a special teams coach with the Bears. Now the offensive coordinator. But he's really doing a good job today of keeping his Cowboy defense off balance with mixture.
2nd and 8. Collins to throw. Has some time, buys some more. He's going to run. And steps out of bounds.
See, Collins is getting way too much time now. That time of possession thing, you can tell that the Dallas Cowboy defense is starting to wear down now. You guys see guys standing out there, they're down on one knee.
Yep.
You just see their body language that the Cowboy defense is starting to wear down. I was talking about the guys on the field. Some of the guys off the field look like they're wearing down too.
Well, McCormick was just involved in that chase. That's Herman back on the sideline now, getting a drink of water.
You saw guys in the Cowboys, taking a knee in that defensive huddle.
3rd and 6. Collins drops. Here comes the blitz. Free is George Teague, and nobody picked him up, and he timed it perfectly.
Yeah, and then the thing is he tackled Collins because they had come free earlier, and then Kerry Collins had gotten away. And now you're going to see George Teague come, and he's going to come, but this time he's going to come free right here, and you're going to see he's going to make the tackle. See, he made Collins bring the ball down, and then he wrapped him up. Yeah, you see what he does. See, Leon Lett goes inside, and he takes 2. Because he knows that George Teague is coming to his outside.
So Bryan from 53 yards again will try again. This one he didn't hit quite as well, but nevertheless it got there and is good. And the Saints move 3 more ahead of the Cowboys, 22-3 with 8:41 left in the 3rd. The Saint fans to celebrate. 22-3.
Country that knows how to celebrate better than New Orleans.
They work at it a lot.
One big party.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to have a party, this is the place to have it.
Tyrone Hughes hit down at the 26. The Saints have really monopolized the clock, and they lead the Cowboys 22-3. The Cowboys 3.
Pat, they always talk about time of possession. And if you look against Minnesota in their last game, the Cowboys had the ball 38 minutes, but they only got 0.9 points per minute. Today, they've added over 13 minutes and only 0.2 points per minute. So it's possession, but what you do with your time of possession.
Aikman drops, gets it outside short to Michael Irvin. He was under pressure again.
Yeah, you talk about timing, and you know that Troy Aikman is a rhythm and timing passer, and you could just see that his rhythm and timing is off. I mean, that pass, he was going backwards, throwing as he was going backwards, and kind of a jump pass. The Saint defense has really taken it to this Cowboy offense, and this Cowboy offense isn't doing anything about it.
There have been a lot of run for my life situation, and not much going with Emmitt Smith either. Here's Aikman back to throw. Stands in pocket. Pass is caught by Eric Bjornsson just as he's coming out of bounds. One official says it's a catch.
And one official came up and said that he bobbled it and that it's not a catch.
Not a catch. So it is not a catch.
And that's what they're going to rule, that Bjornsson bobbled it. You see, that was good coverage there because Troy Aikman was trying to throw. He had no one to throw to, so he moves to his right, tries to buy some time, finally gets it out here. And they said that Bjornsson didn't have control when he went out of bounds, and that's true. He did.
That was a good call. That was an excellent call. 3rd and 10. Some protection this time and gets it to Billy Davis for a Cowboy first down.
Yeah, and that's what Troy Aikman can do if he gets protection, and then if his wide receivers get open like this. Here's Billy Davis out here. You can see he has a big cushion. He's just going to run a hook. You see, he just makes that defender think where he's make him think that he's going deep, and then just work back towards the quarterback.
Fred Weary was the defender he worked on.
Yeah, and he's the rookie nickelback.
Yep.
He plays nickel, and then Alex Molden goes in and plays on the slot.
It's 1st and 10, 7:35 left for Dallas. Emmett Smith gets the carry. And he is cut down behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Bordano.
These linebackers of the Saints haven't let Emmitt Smith go anywhere. They have been all over him. And then we talk about Emmitt Smith not making it, but then Troy Aikman has been under pressure all day. And just watch every time that he goes back to throw the ball, there's someone on him. And the Saints had one thing in mind. They were going to come into this game. They were going to stop Emmitt Smith. They've done a good job of that. And they were going to get after Troy Aikman.
And they have done that.
Look at that, 11 hurries, and they hit him 6 times.
He drops again. Flag on the play. Pass is caught by Irvin. That will be enough for a first down. But there's a penalty marker down.
Yep, and that was on Alex Molden, the corner out here, playing a little soft. And if you do that, you play that soft, and you're man-to-man with that kind of protection, they're going to catch that out.
Jerry Mark Bright, the veteran, 23-year veteran referee.
We have an illegal shift on the offense. The back was moving when the right tackle reset. 2 men moving. They didn't set. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Too much moving, he says. The tackle can't reset, so I'm not sure what that is. Here's the right tackle. Now, I don't know about getting reset. He can set 1 time. So what they're saying was that there's 2 guys in motion, but the tackle could only set once.
He pointed.
Yeah, you know, and then he kind of moved again in his stance too, I think. But what the penalty should be, if he reset, then that's a penalty against Eric Williams.
2nd and 17. Bruce Johnston on the move, and Aikman drops the throw. Incomplete. Billy Davis was the intended receiver. And right now for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, the 49ers blessed to have a big play capability running back in Garrison Hurst. Take a look at him. First drive of the second half, 71 yards to pay dirt for San Francisco, 28-7 over Carolina. They're 1 game behind the Falcons, who right now are holding to a touchdown lead over the Colts. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
And we're back at the Superdome in New Orleans. And New Orleans leads Dallas 22-3. Better hurry. 1 second to go when they got it snapped. And Aikman gets it upfield, caught by Jeffers, but that won't be enough for a first down.
Yeah, we talk about the same thing haunting the Cowboys that have before is the penalties, and then the drop balls and those same kind of things. I mean, they get a first down and then they have a holding penalty or an illegal motion penalty or whatever, and then they bring it back. And these are things that are going to, you know, Chan Gailey, first-year head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, it would drive him crazy, but it would drive a 20-year coach.
Oh, boy, would it.
Crazy.
He'll be going back to punt. It's a situation where he might take off. Oh, a good punt. And a good one. Gulliford back to field it. Bounces into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20. Mike Ditka's New Orleans Saints leading 22-3 over the Cowboys. 5:20 left in the 3rd.
Can't pop right back up. You can't be a punt returner.
Absolutely right. 1st and 10 at the 20. For Terry Collins and the Saints. A handoff to Craver. Maybe a yard.
Yeah, we were talking about time of possession with the Cowboys, and look at the time of possession and what they've done with it with the Saints. Last week, they had the ball only 20 minutes, 0.2 points per minute. Today, so far, 22.35 minutes, and they're averaging 1 point per minute. So that's the big thing. One is possession, but then what you do with your possession. And that's why the Saints are winning the ball. They have the possession, but they also have the points to go with it.
2nd and 8.
What?
That's Davis. And a flag on the play is Coakley. And Williams came up to meet him.
And that flag came out late. That was right at the end of the play.
Below the waist, illegal block.
That has to be, you know, either downfield or on one of the wide receivers.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback foul. Number 88 offense. Half the distance to the goal.
Andre Hastings.
Second down.
Now that's one of the wide receivers. You know, coming in, and you're going to see right here, there's Andre Hastings there, and you see he's going to come right here and make that cut. You see that cut block? That's illegal. You have to come in and block him above the waist. I'm surprised Andre Hastings even went for that. I mean, it wasn't necessary. He didn't need that. I mean, all you have to do is get a little shield on that guy, and that's what they usually do.
Second and 19. Collins gives to Davis. And he gets out to about the 15-yard line, where it'll be third down and long.
You know, one of the things here that the Cowboys have to start playing with a little urgency, and the New Orleans Saints have to think of protecting the ball, because if you look at the Cowboys and say, what do they have to do here? They have to get in there and make something happen and get a takeaway here.
Something quick.
Now, if you look at the Saints, they got a 22-3 lead. You know, time is starting to be on their side. They want to protect that lead, but more importantly, they want to protect the ball. They don't want to force anything on this third and long.
What they don't want here is an interception. That's always true. They get the completion. They get the first down. Andre Hastings.
You know, I like the calm that Kerry Collins is playing with today. Last week, I didn't feel that he had really felt comfortable in this offense, but today he's just standing back there. And if you're going to go to work, it's not bad to go to work on a guy with a broken arm. I mean, there's no way that Kevin Mathis, if he can cover Andre Hastings, there's no way that he can tackle him, and that's exactly what happened.
He stuck that right arm in the cast in there and couldn't close anything.
It's hard to play in this league when you got all your parts.
Davis straight ahead for about 4 this time.
And I'll tell you, Kevin Mathis has to be a tough little guy. I mean, he's out there playing with a broken arm. He's going to have, in professional football, someone has to play. I mean, that's the problem. You say, well, why is he playing? Well, they don't have anyone else. I mean, Kevin Smith is out. Deion Sanders is out and can't play. Larry Brown, they just got in this week, so someone has to play, but he's not playing with a full depth.
Collins dropped. And again, the pass is batted down, this time by Michael Myers.
I will say, remember that pass that they started with, that slant that they were running and letting the defensive end come from that side and knocking it down? Yep. I will say that the Saints have gotten away. And after they had the second one knocked down, they haven't thrown that again. That wasn't the same pass there.
Emmitt Smith must be wondering, we got to get something going here.
I don't know that there's not something wrong with Emmitt Smith, because he's not playing today with the same vigor and enthusiasm that he's played with in the last month or so.
Collins back to throw it. Incomplete. Keith Poole was the intended receiver. Darren Woodson was next to him.
Yeah, and at some point, I mean, you could see there that Artie Smith is trying to get it started. At some point, someone with the Cowboys has to start putting a sense of urgency in them, because I just have a feeling that they've been out here sleepwalking all day.
They need to get something going in this corner with 2 minutes left. Tyrone Hughes. And the Cowboys will take over at their own 23-yard line. And that sense of urgency has to come pretty quickly. Must have been a flag on the play. There is a flag on the play.
Illegal block, number 45, on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Nicky Sualua is number 45. He's called for the illegal block, and they'll move the Cowboys back up a little bit. And that's an economy size one there.
He was going after something.
They can move. They are quick.
What do they eat anyway?
Whatever's available. They have a way of seasoning things that they like to eat.
That one looked like it spotted something.
Yeah.
Going after something.
Aikman has to unload quickly and gets it out to Michael Irvin.
And how he got rid of that ball, I have no idea.
Right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, Carolina doing its part to try to stay in the game. Take a look at Berline. Little screen pass to Anthony Johnson. Johnson getting some nice blocking. Good moves here. He takes it 38 yards to pay dirt. It is now 28-14. San Francisco over Carolina with 6 seconds left in the third. Back to Pat and John. I'm sorry.
Second down. They give this to Emmitt Smith, and nothing doing is Joe Johnson.
Yep, they've been trying to get the ball to Emmitt Smith all day, but you can see on this what the Saint defense is doing is they're getting penetration.
Yep.
The offensive line of the Cowboys isn't getting any movement, and Emmitt Smith, there's a guy on him every time he gets the ball.
Including this last play.
Yep, there was Joe Johnson there. He just took an inside move on Larry Allen. Joe Johnson's been playing a heck of a game today. He's played better against Larry Allen than any defensive end I've seen.
Second and 19. Aikman moves back into the shotgun. Saints might have jumped too soon. Aikman gets the ball out of there to Davis.
That had to be a free play because Brady Smith, number 91, he jumped before that ball was snapped. I'm sure that Troy Aikman saw or felt that one and knew that he had a free play. Usually when that happens, you just throw the ball down the field. Brady Smith is going to be in Mike Ditka's doghouse.
Number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Because Mike Ditka got mad at him last week because remember he slugged the guy in the Miami game and got thrown out of the game. They put him in there now and he jumps off sides.
Mike Ditka is not a guy who you relish being mad at you.
Or being in his doghouse.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know what the opposite of being in his doghouse is. You think he has a whole heck of a lot of favorites?
Yeah, no. I think he knows very well how to get mad.
And then kind of stay that way.
Yeah.
He goes around with a perennial mad.
Second and 14. They make a pitch out now, and Sherman Williams on the shuttle play. That gets him up outside the 30.
Jan Gailey was telling us last night that he has one play where he has both backs in the shotgun, both Emmitt Smith and Sherman Williams, and that was it. Fake it to Emmitt Smith, and then just ditch it in there to Sherman Williams.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score: the Saints 22, the Cowboys 3. Fox NFL Sunday will get 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, 3rd and 5 for Dallas. Blitz off the corner, and Aikman just goes right down. They couldn't pick it up, didn't pick it up. Leroy Glover was the first man there.
Gerard Cherry was the guy that was coming from the outside. You're going to see Cherry here is outside. He's coming unblocked. I think that's the guy that Troy Aikman first sees. He looks out there and he sees number 30, and then he starts to go down, and there's Leroy Glover right there.
Toby going back to punt it. 22-3.
The Saint defense is aggressive, and they are putting on the heat.
Going standing at about the 8-yard line. Gulliford deep. He'll have a chance to return this one if he feels it cleanly, and does. Gulliford dancing to about the 42, stopped by Dale Hellestray. So the Saints will take over with 14:20 left to play in this contest. All-Star starts tonight, 7, 6 Central on Fox. First down, Saints. Their own 42. Handoff is to Wilmot Perry. Perry picks up about 8.
You know who's doing a good job of blocking today is Aaron Craver, the fullback. Perry made that run, but Craver was a lead block. And, you know, and Danny Abramowitz was talking about taking it in there. I'll tell you, Craver took it in on that one. You're going to see the lead block right there. Boom. And he just comes up and picks that linebacker, and that's what gave Perry a little running room in there.
Leon Lett slings Wilmot Perry to the turf.
And that's the type of play I think that the Cowboy defense needed. I mean, something that shows some emotion. I mean, I don't care what you say about this game. It's an emotional game. I mean, someone has to come and you have to make something happen. You have to start throwing people around. You have to show some life. And this Cowboy team hasn't shown any life all day.
No.
And maybe it is a play like this where someone just grabs someone and just throws them down. You know how strong Leon Lett is.
Wilmot Perry's a big guy.
Leon Lett just used 2 fingers to get him down.
3rd and 6. Gulliford goes in motion, and Collins looking in that direction. Gets it to Gulliford. And that'll be enough for a first down for the New Orleans Saints.
I'll tell you, Gulliford is something. I mean, he's given him the dimension as his 3rd wide receiver. He's doing a lot what O.J. McDuffie did to them last week. I mean, starting in motion and then just coming here and just kind of feeling a hole. And then when you get in that hole in the zone, just come under control. That's exactly what Eric Gulliford did. And again, this offensive line, especially these 2 tackles, especially the left tackle, is doing a great job here.
They keep that clock running, and this is Wilmot Perry. Knocks the whole pile back around 5 yards.
I think that's what Wilmot Perry just wants to do. I think he just wants to find a pile and then go knock it back somewhere.
Well, as long as he can do it for 5 yards a pop, that's pretty good.
Well, the thing that they're doing is, you know, again, it's getting back to the time of possession. The Saint offense is winning that battle of time of possession. Then they're scoring points. Then in doing so, you can just see them wearing down this Cowboy defense. You can just see it and feel it.
2nd and 5. Perry again. Picked up a few.
You know, who made a pretty good block there was Kyle Turley, who's a left guard. He's playing pretty well. He's a #1 draft choice out of San Diego State. Here he is right here. And again, that's the side that they're running to. And you see how he just gets here. He has a little help with his hand, but he just got that right hand there, turned his guy out, and created a hole to the inside.
3rd and short, 3rd and 1. The clock's still running, and Wilmot Perry gets the carry and will get the Saints first down. Hammers ahead for about 3 yards.
Again, getting right in there behind that left side, behind Willie Rofe. Craver with the lead block. Here's Willie Rofe here. We're talking about you know one of the best offensive linemen, one of the top tackles in football. You see they have some help here, but I'll tell you, he gets his guy out of the hole. Here it is right here.
And the safety man has to make the tackle.
Yeah, they have him. The offensive line of the Saints, or the offense of the Saints, has gotten control of the defense of the Cowboys.
Again, it's Perry. Fumble. Picked up by the Cowboys by Greg Ellis. And that'll stop the Tide for a moment. 22-3 New Orleans.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyotathon, celebrating 20 years of incredible value. By Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave. Put it to the test. By Sears, no matter what you drive, we're your smart stop for tires and batteries. And by Levi's, what's true.
I think that's what you need, John, one of those.
No, I don't think so. I need things that you just put on and you don't have to carry. I think you have to put that on and carry it and hold it.
Well, with your head, you just have to carry it. Yeah, that's right. Aikman is down by Leroy Glover again.
I'll tell you, those two guys right there, Joe Johnson and Leroy Glover, have played a heck of a game today.
That's what quickness does.
And here's Leroy Glover here, and you can see how he always gets up and gets all of the football. And he's taking Kislak, and he's just taking him right back into Aikman.
Yep.
And Aikman didn't have a chance. I mean, he gets up and just gets that penetration right now. Look at this, the last two games for Troy. Aikman sacked twice, hurried 31 times, hit 31 times. That's way too many, obviously.
He's back in the shotgun. Chased by Joe Johnson. He throws complete to Sherman Williams. And right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
And Pat, while Troy is under pressure there, we have a shootout taking place in Carolina. Burline going up top to Rocket Ismail. A 40-yard touchdown strike. 7 Falcons leading by that margin over the coast. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Back here, it's not so close. 22-3 New Orleans.
Now, that's one thing about the 49ers, though. They can pass on you, and you can pass on them, too.
Flag comes down on the play. I think the Saints might have jumped too early, or maybe the Cowboys moved.
In fact, on all the good teams, you can. I mean, you can pass on the 49ers. You can pass on Minnesota. You can pass on Dallas. You can pass on Denver.
Denver, I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a dominant defensive team in this league that you can't pass on. That's why we have some of these big shootouts, I think, now. I think that's why when we have a Super Bowl this year, it could be a shootout.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 91 defense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It must be true based on what happened in college yesterday, too.
Yesterday was a great day for football.
Oh, boy.
You can say college football. It was college football, but I think yesterday was what the football gods had intended when they invented this game.
A couple of really astonishing upsets, and then Tennessee.
Yeah, it's that old thing. You never know what's going to happen. That's why you have to play the game.
3rd down, about 9. Make it 8. And the Saints had the ball get away, and the Saints come up with it. Aikman fumbled the ball. And now maybe the Cowboys. Kislak got it back.
He did. Jared Tomich was there, number 90 for the Saints, and he had it, and he let it get away from him. That would have been the Saints' ball about the 15-yard line. Watch Jared Tomich. He's right there.
Snap.
He's the guy that comes free. It's a bad snap. Tomich has it there. And then he just can't keep control of it. That's the 2nd or 3rd bad snap today by Mike Kislak, and he's having trouble with his pass protection. So what he's doing, he's forgetting about his snapping. That's one of the big problems I've always thought with a shotgun.
Well, that's a very quick guy, Leroy Glover, right in front of him.
He's had his hands full with him all day. And Mark Fields also on blitzing.
Here's Gulliver. Hit and stunned and down at the 40. Tough day, long day for Aikman. 22-3. 22-3, the Saints over the Cowboys. 8:03 left to play. Next week's games. Coverage begins at noon, 9 Pacific. Bears, Packers, Falcons, Saints. The second half of the doubleheader coverage begins later. The Cowboys will be at the Chiefs. That's where we'll be, in Kansas City next week. Collins drops to throw and fires incomplete.
Over the years, you know, it used to be, I mean, old-time football players would always say, one thing I like about being a football player is you don't have to take a shower to go to work. Now these guys, they dress up to go to work.
Yeah.
You see them?
Work boots.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Floppy pants.
Yeah, you just put an old shirt and pair of pants on and go to work.
Andre Hastings hustles for a 1st down.
You see what they're doing. They're still throwing out here on Kevin Mathis, and they know that the Cowboy defense is starting to have some urgency now, so they have to blitz, and anytime they blitz or come out, then they're in man coverage, and anytime they're in man coverage, then you can work on their corners, Charlie Williams and Kevin Mathis, and that's exactly what the Saints are doing here.
Getting back to those fashions, have you got somewhere in your closet one of those pink suits?
I don't have pink anything.
Wilmot Perry, the ball carrier. Hey, you know, the victory today. We've been spending much of the day talking about the Cowboys and their playoff and their clinching and all that sort of stuff. The Saints put themselves back in the playoff picture with the victory today.
Well, you know, there's one playoff spot there. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you look and you can see that you know Minnesota's in and they've clinched, and Atlanta's clinched, and Dallas can clinch their division, and then Green Bay and San Francisco, and there's one more wild card spot there that is going to be between teams like, you know, Arizona, Detroit, Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
And Detroit's losing to Jacksonville. Collins going deep. Incomplete. Intended for Hastings. He hadn't quite turned around. The ball went over his head. 6.5 minutes left to play.
You know, they were talking in the pregame show today about how Kerry Collins is going to be a free agent after this season, and how big a, you know, how important a game like today is for him. And if today was a test to see if the Saints are going to give him a new contract or a big contract, I would say that Kerry Collins is passing that test today.
Well, he said to us yesterday, I'd like to stay here. I like this setup. I like this situation. I like New Orleans. I like Mike Ditka. Here comes the Cowboy blitz. Collins goes down, chased and brought down again by George Teague.
And that's the second time that Teague got him. And the thing that George Teague did differently that they hadn't done earlier, you're going to see Teague here. He's the safety. He's going to time that blitz, hit it perfectly. Again, Collins is so big and strong that Teague wrapped him up and took him to the ground. Didn't let him run out of his tackle.
Tyrone Hughes back for Dallas. They get the ball back with just over 6 minutes left.
They're going to get as much time off the clock as they can.
Yep. Royal. A rocket kick that bounces out of the end zone. And maybe it bounced out of bounds. Whoa. Into the end zone.
That was almost coffin corner.
That was almost perfect. 22-3, the Saints lead. With John Madden, Pat Summerall at the Superdome in New Orleans. Fewest rushing yards by the Cowboys, 20. That's what they've done today.
And those are the two things in this league. I mean, passing is such a big thing, but you have to be able to run and stop the run.
Pass caught by Jeffers from Aikman, short of a first down. Fewest rushing yards in a game, 20 yards against the Saints in '89, the Giants in '90. Today they only have 7 on the ground.
And they're going no huddle, and they're in their shotgun formation, so they're not going to run a lot the rest of this game.
Aikman scoops up the snap, throws complete to Billy Davis. First down, and they better hurry.
You know, the one thing about the hurry is this puts it in the quarterback's hands. It gives everyone a sense of urgency, and that's what the Cowboys have needed the whole game. And I think they're getting too much too late. But the shotgun, no huddle, kind of gives them a little of that.
Less than 5 minutes. Aikman hurls it up the middle to Michael Irvin. And Irvin dances down the sideline. Out of bounds at about the 18.
You know, the job that Joe Johnson has done over here on Larry Allen, I said earlier, I haven't seen anyone do this to him. And watch Larry Allen's head snap back up. I mean, that's the power that Joe Johnson has. He has the quickness and he has the finesse. Then when you play for quickness or finesse, he gives you the bull rush.
Well, that's been a pretty impressive performance by him today.
Yeah, he and Leroy Glover have played outstanding on that defensive line for the Saints.
Clock is stopped at 4:50. First and 10, Dallas at the Saint 24. Aikman pumps. Incomplete up the middle. Flag on the play intended for Irvin. Or Bjornsson, I beg your pardon.
There was a heck of a collision right at Troy Aikman. There was a blocker and 2 pass rushers. The 2 guys we were just talking about, Leroy Glover and Joe Johnson, both got there at the same time with the Troy Aikman.
Holding number 73, offense.
And the guy blocking him was Larry Allen.
First down.
So all that stuff was happening right at the quarterback. Here's Larry Allen. Here's Joe Johnson. Watch him here. He just starts again to bull rush him, gets him going up, and they just run right back into Troy Aikman. See what he did by Joe Johnson coming from that side. That made Troy Aikman step up, and he stepped right up into Leroy Glover.
I haven't seen anybody do that to Larry Allen. He had him beat again.
No, I haven't either. I mean, the only thing you can say is that the Cowboys have really had 10 days, and you'd think that they would come in here fresh, but to me, they've come into this game and they're very lethargic. I mean, their offensive line hasn't blocked like we've known them. Emmitt Smith hasn't run. They haven't had the same type of pass patterns. Their defense at the front hasn't been as aggressive. And, just summing it up, I think the Saints just went out here and whipped them all day.
Yep. 2nd and 20. Here comes another blitz. Aikman fires. Davis again, and right now for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, San Francisco had a 21-point lead on Carolina, but take a look at Biaka Batuka. Nice hole in the left, stiff arms Merton Hanks. It is all tied in Carolina at 28. And Atlanta right now still holding to a 7-point lead over the Colts and still nursing a 1-game lead over San Fran in the West. Pat and John.
Who would have thought? Aikman drops. Pass is caught by Jeffers. And out of bounds, stop the clock. Look at this.
Again, these are cumulative 2 weeks. This is Thanksgiving Day against Minnesota Vikings, but you can see that Troy Aikman, the big one here, has been hit 33 times. And again, it's, I mean, it's very obvious that that's way too many hits. And when that happens is when you get behind and you don't have your running game anymore and you have to pass all the time. There's no way that Chan Gailey or Troy Aikman want to pass as many times as they've had to in these last 2 games.
You get behind like this is when it happens. Aikman again. This time to Bjornsson. The ball was out, but he was down. Inside the 10. But the clock continues to run. 3:45 left. Aikman goes in the hurry up, but they're changing personnel.
Yeah, see, and he has that wristband. He's getting the plays called, and he calls the plays off his wristband. You just give him a number. The play on the wristband is a corresponding number to the number that they give him.
2nd and 6. He's up under the center this time. Into the end zone, incomplete over Bjornsson's head.
Yep. That's just good coverage there.
Yep.
There's Zaven Urelian, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, who's done such a good job. Now, they have wristbands, too. So this game has come between wristband to wristband. Zaven Urelian has one. And then Chris Guardano, you see his middle linebacker, he has a wristband.
So it's become microphone, wristband, wristband.
Now,
in the case of the quarterback, microphone.
That's exactly what it is. And he has microphone and wristband, and defense just has wristband.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 6. Aikman hands to Sherman Williams. Sherman Williams to the 5. Stop there.
That was a give-up play. You would think that that they would just throw the ball in there because of time. I mean, they have to get the urgency because they're thinking here of multiple scores. And when you run the ball, then the clock keeps going. And now you see right here they have to waste the timeout.
So they'll have 2 left.
Now that is not great clock management.
No. 22-3, the Saints over the Cowboys. 2:47 left. Timeout situation. Dallas with 2. The Saints with all of theirs. All 3. 4th and 3. Aikman comes up under center. And drops to throw it. And it's incomplete. Intended for Jeffers, but here comes the flag. It was late. Jeffers, you saw it turn around and say, hey, where is it? And here it came.
There was a flag right up on that back corner there in the right part of the end zone. And of course, if this is pass interference or holding, that'll be automatic
Pass
first down.
Number 42, defense. Automatic first down.
Weary. That's Fred Weary, the rookie cornerback, number 42. And we see it right here. I don't know what the heck that is. I mean, that just looked like Jeffers just ran into him, too.
Looked like Weary played that one very well. Somebody tipped the ball. That can't be interference.
That can't be interference. You're right. There's a tip ball, too. And Jeffers just ran into Weary. I mean, Weary's right here. He has pretty good position here. Jeffers just runs into him, puts his arm around his head. That should be offensive pass interference. And as you say, the ball is tipped, and there can't be defensive pass interference on a tip ball. See the ball tip right there? Changes, but Weary didn't do anything. I mean, you can't call that pass interference.
Can't play it any better.
That's manufacturing a call. That's a phantom call.
While they're in conference, today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman, Associate Director Mike Roig, the broadcast associates are Fran Morrison and Charles McDonald, technical producer Bob Muller, studios produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, the associate director was Jennifer Love, senior producer is Bill Brown, the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
Now that was a bad call in the Saints. It gives the Cowboys a first down. They put Emmitt Smith back in. Now remember, he's tied for the rushing touchdown record. And if he gets a rushing touchdown here, he will have more rushing touchdowns than anyone in the history of the game.
You can take that play right there, and that will create a positive vote for instant replay. That ball was tipped. There shouldn't be any pass interference. And it wasn't pass interference.
And if there were any interference at all, if you were going to call anything, you would have called it on Jeffers, not on poor old Fred Weary, the rookie.
Emmitt Smith is deep.
He may break the record right here.
He may not get back to the line of scrimmage.
How did you know that?
They went toward Joe Johnson.
Because he hasn't gotten back to the line of scrimmage all day.
All day.
Again, we keep saying what a job that these guys are doing. Joe Johnson here, you see taking the inside. I mean, he is just so big and strong and fast and quick and everything that you need in a defensive lineman. And we always talk about if you're on defense to stop the running game, the first thing you have to do is get penetration.
As linemen go, he's not that big. 270.
He's big today.
Yes, he is. Aikman throws it away. Jared Tomich put the heat on that time.
You know, when Troy Aikman dreams about this game, it's going to be a nightmare. I mean, he hasn't had anything go his way at all. And they haven't been able to run the simplest of passes. I mean, they haven't been able to run a screen pass, but I think they went to the screen pass too much too soon because they hadn't gotten the ball downfield yet. You know, on Emmitt Smith's last 4 carries, Pat, he's been minus 18 yards. That's probably why you said
that's a tribute to the Saint defense as they call a timeout. 2:13 left to play. A reminder again about next Sunday. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. That's the slate of games, and then we'll be in Kansas City with the Cowboys, who have to go back and reevaluate what they're doing against Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, they better not only evaluate what they're doing, but they better evaluate how they're doing it and bring a little more emotion with them. Because at Arrowhead, I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't what they were, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago, but I'll tell you, Arrowhead is a tough place to play.
A tough place to hear and to play.
But if you like tailgating and you like barbecue and you like that stuff that they do before the game, I think it's one of the best in the NFL. See, the Cowboys are showing the emotion of defeat, but they didn't show the emotion of urgency to whip someone earlier, I don't
think they felt it. Sometimes 10 days is good for you, sometimes it's bad for you. Incomplete. No flag. Davis, the intended receiver.
And that was against the rookie Fred Weary again, and earlier they'd given him a bad call, and that time they didn't give him any call there. That's the guy that they work on. Anytime that anyone gets one-on-one against the Saints, they're going to go to work on Weary. Now that one there was closer to pass interference than the other one.
And no flag.
I mean, if you wanted to call pass interference, you probably could there, but that earlier one that they called on him, there was no way.
Illegal substitution foul.
Well,
Number 12 men on the field on the defense. That's half the distance to the goal. Repeat the down.
Yeah, they didn't call the pass interference.
No.
What they called was Mike Ditka, the head coach, slipped in the old 4-4-4.
The extra man.
That was always a tough defense to play against, the old 4-4-4.
Well, they move it to the 2-yard line.
All Mike wants is his fair advantage.
Who could want more?
No run here. There's no one in the backfield.
Now we'll try that one again. And Davis can't come down with it. That was Jeffers. Beg your pardon, not Davis. Davis was there last time.
Well, they know what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to work on this right side, and they're going to throw the ball out here, and they're just going to time it and throw it up quickly. And he got exactly what he wanted. Jeffers just had it, but that was pretty good defense here. Alex Molden was a corner. And you see it could have been caught, and Molden just goes and knocks it out. Looks like the official thought of going for his flag there, didn't it?
2:03 left to play. And the handoff is to Emmitt Smith, and he won't get in. Wayne Martin made the stop. And we get the 2-minute warning, and the Saints defense has done its job all day long.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 33.
Yeah, if you watch Alex Molden here, the Saints really had one called against them that should have been, but they got a break here. Watch Pat Jeffers going for the ball, and watch Alex Molden. He has his hand on him before the ball gets there, and he has his hand on his face mask.
But they never had a chance to do that if that call against Weary is not called, and the ball was tipped first of all, and then Weary did interfere. Wilmot Perry makes the carry.
Emmitt Smith had a chance on that 4th down to break the all-time rushing touchdown record.
Not much of one.
Well, instead, no, he didn't have a chance because of the penetration there. Instead, he's chewing his mouthpiece.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, the Saints just came out here today, and they just whipped them. I mean, their offense whipped the Cowboy defense, and their defense whipped the Cowboy offense.
After they lost to Miami last week, Mike Ditka said, we may lose, we may miss a lot of tackles, we may do everything wrong, but we're going to be aggressive, and they really have been. Perry gets the carry.
And you have to say that about Mike Ditka, that he sticks with his players, and I mean, he gets up and he gets down, but he can get a team ready to play. And his team wasn't ready to play last week against the Miami Dolphins, but I'll guarantee you he got this Saint team ready to play today.
Well, he came in to talk to us yesterday. He was ready to play.
Yeah.
He said, you guys are not my good luck charm. I shouldn't be talking to you.
Nope, and there's, you know, Deion Sanders, and you know, the Cowboys can think they have something clinched, but you know, until you get out there and do it on the field, you don't have anything clinched.
This is not a good day for Aikman, Irvin, and Smith.
Yeah, look at that. Michael Irvin had 5 receptions. Troy Aikman didn't have a Troy Aikman day, and Emmitt Smith only rushed 6 yards.
15 tries and 6 yards. The Saints win it 22-3. Final score here at the Superdome is New Orleans 22, Dallas 3. Coming up on the postgame report, we'll have a complete wrap-up of all the scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have updated stats. That's all next on the postgame report.